we will control the vertical.
Welcome to this episode of Anthologic with your host Mark. Today I'm covering a fairly recent addition to the series and TV series of anthology shows. The latest one, I believe. This is from Apple TV and it's called Amazing Stories. Now, this is exclusive to Apple TV and based on a TV show, another anthology series that began in 1985, also called Amazing Stories, which is more a Steven Spielberg created show. Again, Spielberg's back to sort of get his hands in this one, but along with various other people, such as Edward Kitsis and Adam Horowitz. It started showing on the 6th of March 2020, and the one I'm going to be talking about tonight is that episode that aired tonight, and it's still ongoing. As I record, there are new episodes being added each week. So this one was called The Cellar. Yeah, this one was... I want to make a note about the opening credits. Yeah, they're kind of cool. I believe the music was by John Williams, which is something. I don't know if it's a reuse of something from 1985. It may well be. I don't know enough about that particular original show to be sure, but it was pretty cool. The one, and each episode is about, I guess, 45 minutes. It may vary, I guess. The first one was about that long, I think, 45, 50 minutes. And as I say, The Cellar. This one was directed by Chris Long and written by Jessica Jarza. It's a love story, really. It's a love story through time. I'll be careful not to spoil too much, but essentially, someone restoring a house in contemporary times somehow goes back 100 years to the same house by some freak weather event, and kind of has to make his home there for a bit while he's figuring out how to get back. But while he's there, he kind of starts to open up the eyes of a young lady who's in that time zone. He's telling her about what the future might bring and, you know, the opportunities there. And also she's trapped in a situation she doesn't really like, and they kind of, you know, fall in love. But then through events, they get separated, and it's a kind of trying to work out if there's a way back through time to be together. Yeah, there were certain bits of this I really liked. Overall, though, it left me a little cold. I felt cold. It felt a little kind of too sort of precious and twee for its own good. And it kind of, it didn't have the real bite that a lot of the anthology shows have, I think. However, I've got some good things to say about it. I really liked the cast. I thought the leads, who was Dylan O'Brien and Victoria Pedretti, were particularly good. Victoria Pedretti was most recently seen in the TV version of The Haunting of Hill House as Nell, as Eleanor. And she does a really good job in that. But she's really good in this. She's really sweet. She really inhabits the character. And the character is a singer, or wants to be a singer. And she if that's her singing, and I've got no reason to think it isn't her, it sounds like her. It's a really good singing voice, really sweet, and works in the story. So all the elements work. I just felt it was a bit... I like a bit of bite to my anthology shows. So this one didn't really have that. It's rated quite highly. I think this one's got the highest rating of all the ones shown so far. It's certainly rated more highly than the second one, which I've heard a few bad things about, but I've tried to ignore the reviews because I want to see it for myself. Yeah, it's good. So this anthology show is like a one story per episode, and like I say, 45-50 minutes per episode, and it delivers. I mean, I've got no real complaints other than it felt a bit, I see. I like some of the plotting and some of the writing, but like I say, I really like the acting and the characterizations that were presented in this. I think it worked quite well. And it was slick. It didn't drag in any way. It just felt like it was a bit too. It was a love story rather than something a bit more sinister. I like sinister. That's probably the trouble. And this didn't have that. It was a much more kind and sweet tale. I would recommend it, though. I would recommend it because though it wasn't entirely my cup of tea, I really can't find much fault with it. On IMDb, it's got a 7.3 this episode. And looking at the ones that have been rated so far, that's the highest rated of the 4 that have got ratings against, the 4 that have aired so far. I think I will watch more. I will watch more of this. And if you've got Apple TV and give it a go, it's certainly worth it. It had many charming elements to it. It might be one of those that if I were to rewatch, I'm going to like it a lot more the second time because I really sort of appreciated some of the good stuff. But I just felt like this isn't going to resolve in a way that I expect. But it kind of did and didn't, if you know what I mean. I quite liked the way some of the resolutions, though it felt a bit like, yeah, I can see why this line was in here earlier to this particular punch, and things like that. So I saw a bit of the cogs being put together, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, that's okay. So it's a recommend for me. Even though I didn't particularly like it myself, I really can't find fault with it. So it's a recommend for me. So yeah, if you can, Amazing Stories, The Cellar. Try and see it if you can. So, bye from me. One last question. Is anybody out there?
I'm not.
We now return control of your television set to you until next week at this same time, when the control voice will take you to